Right, Rich.
Hello.
Bob's Burgers, one of the most wholesome shows on TV, was originally very different, wasn't it?
Wait, it does like Schindler's List with the only colours red.
Terrible way to start. Why are you starting like that?
It does black, white, and red.
Yeah, no.
Quite...
Yeah, I know what you don't need to explain that bit. I was asking why you were saying it.
Have you ever heard that joke?
Let's move on. I don't want to hear your Holocaust joke.
It's not a Holocaust, it's a nun joke. Oh, I've ruined the punchline now, anyway.
Originally, when they first pitched Bob's Burgers, it was meant to have more of an Adult Swim edginess to it. Instead of just a lovely family who own a burger store, they were cannibals who got dead bodies from the morgue next door. So I figured what we could do is we could rewrite episode 2 of Bob's Burgers as if it was part of the original pitch, so they're still cannibals. How would it have been different? So, the plot of the episode is Linda's parents are coming to visit. You immediately said, why don't we make the episode about them cannibalizing the parents?
Yeah, because Bob doesn't particularly enjoy Linda's mother.
Yeah. I reckon both Bob and Linda are on board with cannibalizing her.
Yeah.
And then at the midway point, Bob says something bad about the parents, and that suddenly switches Linda's mood, and she's like, oh, okay, stay in the crawl space. Should we explain the plot first?
Yeah, so Bob, he gets in this crawl space.
To fix a leak in the roof.
To fix a leak. And then he gets given the idea to stay in there as if like...
So we can avoid hanging out with the parents, yeah.
I was going to say that Daniel finds that Bob has tunnels. The Bob's Burgers establishment has tunnels going across the city to certain spots where they can collect corpses when mortars and being particularly helpful with bodies.
Wait, so he uses the tunnels in the walls regularly? So it's not like a shock thing? Like, oh no, I'm trapped?
I think Tina's in there.
It's Daniel in the original pilot. Tina was a boy.
So Daniel will go lead. So the kids don't know that the cannibals.
The kids don't know that the parents are cannibals.
No. Because they just think meat is meat, you know, like they just come up bloody.
Right, yeah.
And then maybe one time they get caught with a hand. Jean's like, what kind of animal has hands?
That's such a funny twist. I didn't even think about that. That's the right way to do it. Have the kids just be normal and have no idea.
Yeah, and they're just doing hijinks, like kiddie hijinks, and maybe Tina, Jean, and Louise find a space into the crawl space. Throughout the episode, they're just finding all these like body rooms. Okay, I was like, oh my god, is this where they kill all the sheep? And it's just like a very clear woman in a white coat. A woman in a white furry coat.
We did have those lamb burgers last month.
They were amazing.
Whilst the kids are investigating the crawl space, is Bob trapped in there? I
think he's trapped in the sense that he can't let them see him steal the mother. So you know, like H.H. Holmes has like.
Yeah,
H.H. Holmes has
the Hell
like
Hotel. Yeah,
it's the Hell Burger shop. But the kids are down there, and he says to Linda, "I'm not worried about them thinking that we're cannibals because our kids, I love them, but they're stupid."
Man, we can even like parody like Psycho. You know when the owner of the motel was looking through the holes in the walls at guests in the room, but he's looking at Linda's parents.
Yeah, he's like, "You look so juicy." And then what if he's mumbling like puns to himself? The Grand Wagyu burger.
He's trying to come up with names for the the burger of the day menu.
Yeah, and like maybe he like comes up with a particularly good one, and he goes, "Ha!" And then the mum's like, "What? Have you got critters in the walls again, Linda?" "No, Mom."
Oh man, that's boss. Bob just wants to go in for the kill and kill the grandmother, but the kids like keep interrupting him.
Yeah, so do you think they eventually bump into each other and they're like, "Dad, what is all this?" And he's like, I was good. It's for Tina's 18th. And he's like, "What, Dad? What do you mean? Like,
it's a surprise party."
It's a surprise. And he goes,
surprise party in the walls.
I know. And she's like, I don't like it. And she's like, "Well, you're not 18 yet."
When you get older, you'll understand it a bit more.
Maybe they expect a tour now.
Oh man, he's got to come up with like fake scenarios for every room.
Yeah. So like, what if he has like particularly like nasty rooms, like the Iron Maiden room, or the bloody chamber from like Angela Carter. It's like, this is your mom's favorite one.
I like the idea that the way they get bodies from the morgue is that there's a tunnel leading up to there, and like a secret hatch, and they're like, oh, where does that lead to? And
it like pans up top and more. It's like, where is he? I need to get this. I need to get this one out.
That's the fourth body this month.
I just put them here and they're gone.
Oh, I guess I'm burning another empty box again. There's a bit in the original episode, man, where Bob says something about not liking the mother, and Linda gets defensive and scribbles off his burger of the day and writes tuna on it or something, because that's something the mum said. Linda and Bob talk through the wall, and he's like, no, obviously, I do want to get out and kill your parents, finally. And she's like, what do you mean, finally? We just had this idea last week.
And then he's like, I mean, when you hit 18. And then that when it changes, she goes, you know what? We're going to kill your dad. And he's like, yeah, fine. You know I hate him.
And Linda would immediately be like, oh, but I don't want to.
Yeah, fine. You called me out. So then
I love that Bob was immediately down for killing his dad. Like, yeah, it's fine.
Meanwhile, the kids are occupied with the ring drawer, just like all these all lost jewelry. And he's like, "Where'd you get these, Dad?" And he's like, metal detecting." We have to have him rush to the cupboard to unpack his metal detector because he used the lie. So if the kids ever go, I've never seen your metal detector, and he goes, it's unpacked and everything.
Maybe he goes out and buys one.
Yeah, he goes out and buys one, and then he says to Linda, you got to sort the food, meaning you got to kill someone. But she doesn't want to kill the mum because of spite.
So Bob has ran out to go to the shops to get a metal detector to keep up the lie. And like, he brings it in, and you know the little plastic over the plug sockets you get when you get a new...
Yeah. But yeah, so in the meantime, what are they going to do they're really set on the mum, or a mum, because they had the pun.
Burger of the mum.
Yeah, ooh, burger of the mum. And it's like, do you tell the kids to look after the restaurant, do you think? Do you go and rush through the tunnels to the pier to nab a random mum?
Right. You've got to go and kidnap a random mother, yeah. Because you can imagine them hiding under the pier, going, that woman looks like a mother. And it's like...
That woman, that's totally a mother.
How can you tell it's so dark? It's so dark down here.
Yeah, Bob says something like, mothers get like certain bodies, and Linda's like, Bob, what do you mean? Well, okay, to see this, I think Tina has been wanting all day to go and meet her friends at the pier because her friend has a really cool mum that she wants to meet.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so the episode starts with Tina it'll be Daniel, won't it? It's Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel will say, like, yeah, he's got a really cool mom, and I just want to meet the mom. I really want to meet the mom. I really, really want to meet the
So, how do we wrap this up?
So, they go and get the cool mum.
Right.
Start preparing her.
They bring her back through the tunnels into the crawl space in the restaurant.
Yeah, and then it turns out that Daniel's friend is coming to the restaurant because they're upset because the mum's gone missing. And then Daniel's like, my parents will help. They're really good citizens.
Daniel's like, look, I'll cheer you up. Look at this new place we've found.
Do you reckon in the end, man, because the Belchers lose quite often, do you reckon in the end, so they've nabbed them, took them through the tunnels, and then when they arrive into the kitchen, the son's there. It's like, Mom, you're here! And then Bob's like, yeah, we found her just wandering the streets.
And she's like recovering from Bob like whacking her over the back of the head.
Yeah.
She like can't remember how she got there. And he's like, oh yeah, we found her outside. We walked her over here.
Yeah.
I reckon we end, man. You know Sergeant Basco, the police officer? Can we end with him like parked outside the restaurant on a final bit, and he like speaks into a dictaphone like Twin Peaks?
Ooh.
And he goes, another strange day observing the Belchers. He went out and bought a metal detector. We're not sure what that's for.
We're not sure what that...
Just like teasing the fact that he's investigating them for being cannibals.
Can we have one line where he says, "And he popped up out of a tunnel I didn't know existed"? But I think that's immaterial. The metal detectors, we got to push for this, okay, boys?